I'm trying to find a way to start this without saying, hey folks, or what's up y'all, or any of that nonsensical stuff. But anyway, this is James Hancock. I'm back with my Dark Souls walkthrough. I'm fast forwarding right now just because I am resuming my exploration of the Painted World of Ariamis, but there's no reason for you to watch me fight those hollows at the beginning for the 57th time. So yeah, I just enjoy doing quadruple speed periodically for anything you have already seen. If you watched my previous video where I entered Painted World of Ariamis, I apologize profusely because I was playing late and I was recording late, and I honestly was starting to babble. I can't even remember what the fuck I was talking about as I was saying it. So I can probably, yeah, it's probably better just to like practice with like test tunes or just play for fun late at night from here on out, because that video I think was kind of worthless apart from the nice PvP moment I had with the Blade of the Dark Moon, which I had to edit out specifically by itself and just post on its own because I was so pleased with myself getting that 2-shot kill, something I'd never had in PvP before. If you've heard these videos before, you know I have a very hard time saying PvP, which basically means I will never be doing a PvP series because I would just be opening the door to humiliating myself constantly. Now down here, there's a very important, well, there's a couple important things, but the most important is the wheel you got to spin in order to open up the door for the lower entrance to the boss. I've already shown you the secret entrance to the boss with the shortcut. But this whole room is full of these wheel guys, and they're just awful. If you play Dark Souls 3, they're a joke. In Dark Souls 1, they shred your face. And in general, like you see, that was actually, I got off light right there. If you stand in front of them, they'll just keep pushing you back, and they will kill you in a matter of seconds. And if there are a couple of them around you, you're totally fucked. Also, the complicated thing if you're a sorcerer is that when they go past you, they go so far past you, you lose your target on them, and so you have to kind of chase after them to shoot them, which gives them a chance to turn around and come back at you. So the key is to try to pull one at a time. Right here, I pulled 2, which is not good. Yeah, I don't know why they made these guys so strong. I mean, I guess it's Dark Souls 1, so you can't really complain. There's just lots and lots and lots of stuff that'll kill you, like those guys. And there it is. But it wouldn't be Dark Souls without at least one death per video. So now that I've got my out of my system, I can focus. So yeah, the goal is to get to this little winch that I can turn and open up a door. But there's also a really important spell down here, and there's a really important key down here. And I plan on doing everything. So I'm just gonna get a head start by pulling that guy that I can see way down at the end. With the bow, I mean, I never used binoculars, but with the bow, you can get a pretty good idea of where things are. But also, I just kind of know where things are. As you just saw, don't try to melee these guys while they're still spinning. It doesn't work. So just wait for them to stop spinning. Then you got like a 1 or 2 second moment of truth where you can whack them, and even if you have a dagger, they'll go down. They're super, super squishy. You just got to catch them at the right time. So I'm just luring them out one at a time. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit disappointed that Dark Souls 3 doesn't have more moments that are just total oh shit moments where they'll go down in video game infamy where people talk about them years after the fact. But Dark Souls has so many moments like that, or so many things that you fight where people just have like post-traumatic stress from having to encounter it. I feel like Dark Souls 3 only has one real moment like that, and that is that Dragon Rider boss who's the optional boss right at the end of the game. He is a legit challenge and a ton of fun to fight and looks cool as shit, and you know, they definitely outdid themselves. I think you can make a strong case for that being the toughest boss in the history of Dark Souls. But Dark Souls 1 just has so many weird little moments like this room where if you don't stay on top of your game, you will just die in seconds. But the majority of them are dead now, so I'm kind of getting ahead of the situation. But there's some secret passageways off to the left that are even more treacherous because you have 3 of them in there. And there's no lateral movement opportunities. It's narrow hallways. So if one of them catches you, going down a lengthy hallway is going to push you all the way down to the end. And unless you're like got crap loads of health and some heavy armor or a really good shield, you're going down. Because even if you have your shield up, they beat the hell out of your stamina. So, I basically have no stamina because it costs no stamina to throw my spells. So I've been putting no points into that. So my stamina runs out real fast, which is definitely the Achilles heel of this character. I love this character. He's a blast. It hits hard, but man, I just cannot handle close quarters combat. So as you can see, the doorway is now open down to the end, but I'm going to go into the secret passages. Also, I know apologies are sometimes a silly thing, but I feel like they're justifiable when appropriate, and as I was watching my video from last night, I realized I was going back to my old habit of making that weird sound after every sentence. I think it's because when I'm talking for 20 or 30 minutes at a time, my throat gets dry, and so I'm basically kind of like clearing the mucus out of my mouth. So from now on, I want y'all to give me actually I shouldn't. I was about to say give me a dislike on my video every time I do that, but that might rapidly make my channel go into oblivion. So I'm just going to try to drink more water while recording. So here I am pulling this guy out because I don't feel like fighting him in that tight tunnel. I've been through here enough times where I know where they all are, but you'll have to just find them for yourself as you play through. But quick sip of water. Using a bow on those guys is pretty advantageous as well because you can shoot them while they're rolling. So yeah, just make sure you target them and just get the hell out of the way. There's one down at the end of this hallway, and yeah, just luckily he's close enough where I can target him, sneak around the corner, and ba-boom! You're done. Yeah, they're really not that challenging. You just gotta plan ahead so they don't zonk you. So that's the Annex Key. The Annex Key takes me up into the last unexplored part of the place where there's a really good Pyromancy spell, a really good light armor set, particularly if you're a faith build, and what else? Oh, and there's the Dark Ember, which is a crucial item for jacking up your weapons, especially if you are a magically inclined individual. Now, I can see this guy behind the corner. I'm trying to target him without getting too close, and he's just not cooperating. And now he's backing up. He's actually the cleverest, but I got lucky as hell. Before he started spinning, I got my spell off, so that was just blind luck. At the top of the stairs is another one of those exploding toxicity guys, so just don't hit him. He will pop, and he will infect you. So just stand back, hit him with something good, and down he goes. And if you're a Pyromancer, that is a badass spell. Fire Surge is definitely one of the most popular spells in Dark Souls 1 for Pyromancers. I had a blast using that spell on my Pyromancy tune on my first official playthrough. I am starting to play around with Pyromancy in Dark Souls 3. I never really messed with Pyromancy that much in Dark Souls 2, although I guess I did for one of the DLCs, because Pyromancy has a decent heal spell and some good Flame Swath, I think that's what it's called in Dark Souls 2. It's really powerful. But I haven't done a Pyromancy build all the way through in Dark Souls 3 yet, so I've opened the door on that and started to mess with it. I just gotta invest some more time. But I'm fast forwarding through this. As promised in the previous video, I need to go back to the top of this tower because there was an item here, and when you grab the item, it makes some of those gross bird creatures come flying over to you. And not that I particularly enjoy fighting them, but I enjoy killing them because they give me a chance to get some more of those items to turn in for the Blade of the Dark Moon. So there they are, right on cue. I mean, even with my most powerful spells, they can take a whole soul spear and still live. So they are not weak. And as you saw in the previous video, they got their flying butt attack, which is so dangerous, where they, like some sort of exotic porn star or bizarre James Bond villain, jump up, wrap their legs on your head, and start just beating it to death. So it would be scary if it were not so entertaining to watch. So now it is time to go into the last wing with the Annex Key. And yeah, is that in a weird way, this is actually the hardest part of the entire area, just because there's a couple places to fall for fall damage. You got toxin bad guys to fight, and you got bird guys. It's just you got a wide variety of enemies. But if you like getting all the options for upgrading your gear, it is absolutely required. Because like I said, the Dark Ember is here. I'm trying to remember if in my video last night I gave a little review of Kubo and the Two Strings. I was so delirious and so confused while recording it. I'm pretty sure I was just babbling incoherently. But I did see Kubo and the Two Strings last night and wrote a review. And yeah, I'm 99% sure I at least mentioned it. But now that I'm slightly more clear, I just want to say that if you are a fan of mythology or legends, things like, you know, Jason and the Argonauts, or like Theseus or Hercules, any like great Greek myths or Norse mythology or anything like that, you will really enjoy it because it definitely follows some very familiar mythological tropes in terms of following a young hero who's growing more powerful, who's got some sort of godlike blood in his system, but he's also being hunted by kind of jealous, evil relatives, and he's gathering pieces of armor and weapons and learning his skills. And I just feel like it's been a while since we've had a cool kind of sword and sorcery adventure movie that has that mythological feel, that also has that broad, family-friendly entertainment kind of value without feeling like it's condescending to people. I mean, one thing I hate about most animation is that you feel like you need to be like a 3-year-old with a serious head injury before you can possibly enjoy the humor and the musical choices and the dialogue. And, you know, I work in animation, but I see so little animation because the majority of it, I just feel like you need to be in a serious state of altered consciousness to enjoy it. Unless you're done with TV. TV, they just seem to have much more creativity and much more risk-taking and much better writing. But in the world of feature films, animation, just more often than not, it's just unwatchable dreck. But Kubo and the Two Strings is totally different. Kubo and the Two Strings I thoroughly enjoyed, and I hope it'll win Best Animated Feature at the Oscars in February or March or whenever they are. I know Zootopia will definitely be the one to beat, and Zootopia will probably win because it's more accessible. And I love Zootopia. I had an absolute blast watching Zootopia. It's not a knock on Zootopia, but it's definitely much more the kind of standard, generic, predictable, accessible Hollywood entertainment with very obvious lessons about, you can do anything when you want in your life and blah, blah, blah. It's a very positive message, but it's predictable. It's kind of that easy backslapping people go for, or patting themselves on the back, like, we made a nice movie with a wholesome message and now everybody can enjoy it. I just think Kubo shows way more imaginative scope and ambition. Anyway, I've now got the Dark Ember. I don't even know if I'll use it, but I wanted it. And time to fight some more bird people. God damn, they hit hard. I mean, granted, I'm not wearing basically any armor, so they should hit me hard. But I'm starting to get to the stage where I need to start putting some more points into my health because I've got some big bad guys coming up that I want to fight, and I don't feel like getting one-shotted. I mean, you can basically hang in Dark Souls as long as nothing can one-shot you. I mean, you'll notice even the people doing the insanely fast, like world record-breaking playthroughs of Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, even they... God damn it, I'm doing the click thing with my tongue again. I can hear myself doing it. I apologize. But even they put enough points into their health so that if they get hit by something, they don't automatically die. Because eventually, even the best people in the world do make mistakes. They do get hit. That armor set I just picked up is one of my all-time favorite armor sets. It looks cool as shit. It is the exact same armor set of the guy that you can pay to like forgive you for your sins or request absolution if you drop out of a covenant. That pit will kill you. Do not drop down in. And this is a very cool miracle, Vow of Silence, which I will not be using because I'm not a faith build, but I just wanted to snag it in case you are a faith build and want to know where that is. But I am going to kill these two pieces of shit because I'm hoping they will drop some more stuff that I can turn in for my Blade of the Dark Moon. I still haven't made up my mind if I want to try to farm enough to get that spell. I just, as much value as there might be for me personally in getting that, because I've never had that spell in Dark Souls 1 before, I'm thinking the real value is just showing how it's done, telling you how it's done, but continuing with my walkthrough, finishing the walkthrough, and moving on to Dark Souls 2. Because more and more I'm wanting to get back into Dark Souls 3. As much as I think Dark Souls 1 is one of the all-time great games, while Dark Souls 3 is current content and relatively new with a DLC on the way, I just feel like there's more value to be had in being part of that active community. So yeah, but luckily this weekend I don't have a whole lot to do, so I'm going to be ripping through a hell of a lot of Dark Souls. Now the reason I'm reversing my hollowing is because up here there is an NPC who will invade, but you have to obviously be human for him to invade you, but he's worth a ton of souls, and it allows you to get access to one of the coolest light armor sets in the game that a lot of people end up wearing, both for jokes like in cosplay, but also like for real because it's got some good stats relative to the weight. Yeah, I'm just so sick of fighting hollows with tokens at this point, but I got lazy and I skipped those two at the beginning, and now I'm paying the price because they, it's like zombies in Walking Dead or Night of the Living Dead or any of that stuff. If they hear a noise, they come after it. I don't know if they're technically zombies or not, but They call them hollows. They might as well be zombies, but I don't remember zombies swinging swords in any of those movies. But around this corner is a very, very special little treat if you are a pyromancer. Yeah, so if you're a pyromancer, you really have no choice but to come into this area. I know it's an optional zone, but 2 spells are here, so get on in here and get her done. The NPC that is about to invade me, he's insanely resistant to magic, which makes it hard for me to fight because that's pretty much all I got. It also has a whip attack, which is real fast and will fuck you up. He also throws a lot of pyromancy spells. So he's a really interesting NPC to fight. Good practice. And definitely died to him a few times. But he's also got this giant head, which I think his name is Xanthous. But anytime someone has got a big, weird, giant head, or King Jeremiah, it makes it, you know, kind of confusing to fight him because you're just distracted by how ridiculous they look. But people love invading other players wearing that stupid headpiece because it is distracting. I've never used a whip in PvP, but I know it's awesome because if you have a whip with like a bleed attack or a poison attack on it, you can just like whip, 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 immediately put some debuffs on other characters, give them something to think about while they're fighting you. He's trying to use his pyromancies, but I'm just having none of it. I'm out of soul spear, so unfortunately I've got to use my fast spells that only do 14 motherfucking damage to him. So eventually I get bored of hitting them. I mean, I'm doing a good job of not getting hit by ability and not getting hit by his spells, but doing 14 damage, that's just... Life is too short to do 14 damage, so I'm going to move in for some melee, show him how it's done. He's backing up, justifiably so. Missed the backstab, but now I got the backstab. 113, so yeah, that sped things along a little bit. Double handing, going in for the leap. Boom! I love doing that. Whenever someone's getting up, you always lose your target. But if you retarget them, 2-hand your weapon into a flying leap. If you time it correctly, you always get one more shot right as they stand up. Highly recommend it. Now that he's almost dead, I'm just going to finish him off with my soul arrows. But there you go. He's dead. And what that's going to allow me to do is to get his armor set at the end of this zone. One sec. Quick water break. Yeah. It is Friday, and I should be getting ready to partay, but I'm not actually going out until very much later tonight. I'm going to see female comedian at the New York Comedy Club, one of the part of the duo of the podcast Guys We Fucked, which is one of my recent discoveries. It's a really, really funny podcast with girls just talking about, I think they call themselves like the anti-slut-shaming podcast, but it's basically them just talking very frankly about all the weird, freaky, sexual shit they like to get up to, and they're funny as hell, and so I'm going to see one of them live tonight, but I've got a good 8 or 9 hours before I got to get my game face on. So yeah, this is the long way down. I'm not taking the shortcut, because when you take the shortcut, while it is shorter, you immediately have a bunch of hollows on one side, and you get this big giant knight on the other, and I just don't feel like dying. While I've got my humanity, I just want to keep my humanity and get through the boss and get back into the rest of the game. I mean, I'm starting to not run out of zones, but I still got the Tomb of the Giants to go through, which is hard as hell, but a lot of fun. God damn those motherfuckers. Hate it when they do that. I've got the library, or Duke's Archives. Yeah, the Duke's Archives to go through, which is crucial because I'm a sorcerer. I've got the Crystal Cave to go through. Got the New Londo Ruins to go through. I got like the Demon Zone to go through, like the Lost Izalith area. And then I've got the 3 expansion pack zones to go through, and obviously the final boss. So that is still a ton of content to work my way through, but there's definitely more of the game behind me now than there is in front of me. The reason I'm doing a quick soft reset is because I don't know if I need to reset between when I kill that NPC that I fought and making his armor set appear. So just on the off chance that it do, I just went ahead and got it out of the way. Now this boss is optional. She is neutral. She's kind of sort of friendly. She basically says like, you don't belong here, please go home, and she will let you leave. She looks cool as shit. She might be the coolest looking boss in the game. Actually, no, Sif's the coolest, but she's like a half dragon lady, got a big tail, big sides, and she is just badass looking. But if you fight her, you can knock off, she's floating right now, but when you fight her, she turns invisible and you have to follow her footsteps. You can knock off her tail and get one of the best agility daggers in the game. I am not, I call it agility, dex. It's definitely one of the best dex build daggers in the game. So if you are playing as like a backstabbing kind of roguey assassin ninja type person, you definitely want to make sure you get her tail while fighting her. But yeah, I just think that combination of like the fur and the coat and the tail, she just looks so goddamn cool. Sometimes this game just stuns me. Anyway, here is the armor set I was talking about, which is awesome for a light build. And my buddies at Gay for Games, or my buddies, I don't know them, but the people I admire, they definitely wear a lot of those pieces in their playthrough. So I'm getting one big hit in to Crossbreed Priscilla. I fuck up and I blast a couple of more soul spears, which those two were wasted because she goes invulnerable for a few seconds while she goes invisible. What she does, she follows you around, she whacks you, and puts bleeds on you. And if you stay on the part with the snow, you can see her footsteps and get hits in. If you hit her for a big shot, she'll get stunned and turn invisible. And yeah, you just gotta be patient. And depending on what you do, sometimes people like to put up their shield, let her take a swing, and then they counterattack. I mean, I don't have that option. I just don't have the armor or the stamina for that sort of thing. So for me, it's about just luring her toward me, looking for the footsteps, and then trying to get off the spell attack before she kicks the shit out of me. So yeah, it's almost like that wasn't that really terrible early 80s mythology movie, Clash of the Titans. I mean, I loved it when I was 5 when it came out, but I remember there was a scene with someone invisible, and what was it? Was it Perseus who's invisible, or was it Calibos who was invisible? Somebody's invisible, and they're like looking for the footsteps while they're fighting. Anyway, so it's a pretty interesting fight. If she were visible, it would be painfully easy. She just has almost no health, but she definitely can swing that scythe and do some serious damage. I'm getting hit almost every single time. But even though I don't have a shield up and I have very little armor, it's not really hitting me for that hard. It's just the bleed that you have to be aware of. Getting my soul spear ready, and I got lucky. Boom! She went visible. My soul spear hits so hard. So I'm going to go after the tail a little bit, but I'm going to fuck it up because her health is so low. But yeah, as you can see, I like watching her fight. She's just so fucking cool looking. It's a shame you have to fight her. But I wish I could have a character that looks like her. That would be killer. I've got you probably noticed, I've got a kind of a thing about playing with female characters. Don't know why. I don't think it's like a gender reassignment fantasy thing. I think it's more just I enjoy looking at badass, beautiful girls doing badass shit. That's why I watch women's MMA. I mean, I love normal MMA as well, but I just enjoy watching kick-ass girls do the thing. It probably goes back to when I saw Conan the Barbarian as a little kid and being obsessed with Valeria. But in pretty much every playthrough I will do or walkthrough I'll do, I'll always play a chick. And occasionally I'll break that rule. I read into this as you will. I enjoy playing with like big, giant, muscular black dudes as well. I've got an alt tune called Luke Cage I'm playing with, and I've also got, like when I played Skyrim, I played as this big, giant black dude. So I kind of play. Maybe that's just part of what makes role-playing games fun, is never having to be yourself or be in your own skin. You get to explore different roles. Anyway, I'm back in Anor Londo. I'm going to haul ass back to the bonfire for the Blade of the Dark Moon. The only thing that I have left really to do here is to kill Guinevere or dispel the illusion, kill her like buddy who kind of like guards her, and then kill her sister down here. But I'm not going to do that for a while because I still might try and max out this covenant. So I'm just turning in some of the seals that I've been accumulating, and then I'm going to do a quick attempt to invade by putting on the ring, but it doesn't work. And then I'm also, the reason you see me kind of huffing and puffing is that I'm debating what area I want to go to next. I'm not quite sure what is the next spot that I want to hit, but between this video and the next, I will figure it out. So thanks so much for watching. Please comment and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll be back at you later on this weekend. Thanks so much.